Right, and there we go. And for the first time in a long time, I'm 1 minute early. And yep, here we go. Goeienaand, good evening. Welcome. It's Monday. Lovely, beautiful start to the week. It's a Monday. Have you been to work and back? And how are you doing? Just block the eyebrows there. My teeth come into question. I'll talk about that just now. 27 July. Log on. I have this for go to sleep. Do you like juice? I'm gonna get some juice. Sanjit Bhagwandin, stuck in Lesotho. How are you doing in Lesotho? Experiencing some lovely snow there as well. We didn't get to experience snow. Maybe when after COVID, I must take a trip to Lesotho, spend some time there, meet some blacktails, fishing. Good evening, Roger Naidu from the UK joining us, and Sean Singh. Keegan Pillay says, good evening, how's it? Kritik says, Keegan. Tasha Vuka Mudli. Tasha Mudli Vuka. Mudli girl is online there. Yolanda Lini, good evening, Lini. And Ravin Govind joins us. As I join Ravin Govind in the Champions League next year, we talk the same language. Kritika Deepnarayan, how's it? Kritika, my PA, Donovan Chetty, Vivian Brahama. Unique surname, well, for South Africa, that is. Make it good, mother. Make what good? Claudine Cadman Guria, good evening. No cheese today. Kritika says, behave today. Behave for what? Cliffy Daniel says, how's it? Good evening, Casey. Cold night. No, well, I don't know where it's cold for you, but yeah, it's not really cold. I wouldn't consider it cold. World Smith, haven't heard from you for a while. Hola, hops everyone. Apologies for being so quiet the last. Yep, that's what I said. You haven't heard from you. Here come Blacktail jumping in. Yep. Well, when the borders open up, then I'll come there. Obviously, we can't come now. That's why you are stuck with that end of the border. Diloshni Murli says, good evening. I'm going to phone up a bit more. Make this going. That's better. That's most better. You only show your face for KC. Who's that? Tasha. Yes, boss investigator. Ashwin Singh is watching. Good evening, Ashwin. Good evening, everybody. Jackie, Monday was one of those days. Shame, Jackie. What were you doing last night? Were you having a bit of easy loving? What was happening last night? Why are you suffering on a Monday? Good evening, Jeremy Naika and Violin Kiston. Cassia Gallagher. Ooh, hello, Cassia. Rajan Pillay says, how's it? So that's Renuka says, good evening. Sudash and Night, all the greetings done. Rajesh Sebran. We used to have a Sebran on our group as well. Sebran as well. He disappeared. Doesn't even come on my lives anymore. Maybe he's got a problem with me. I don't know. Nice call to the press, keeping it positive. Starts from the top. Yep, we're keeping everything positive. By the way, let me just start with that. And Mika, you came in on cue as the music went down, and something I was going to tell you. We had a chat with Mika Merino. Guys, Mika Merino is in Canada, and it must be about 2 months back. I think Kritika and the others on the Sunshine Gag group will know this. Mika Merino made a bit of an allegation against us when we were talking about the stuff and then Mika Merino may now answer for this. When I say answer, give us a feedback. Mika Merino, about 2 months back when we were in the early days of lockdown and we were lamenting the government and what they're doing and whatever, and what we thought they were going to do, and I was the biggest critic of government. Mika Merino came across and said, guys, come on, you need to be positive. Like we were only complaining. Like we weren't seeing any positive, we were just complaining. Right, Mika Merino, we're 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line. What do you say to what we were saying then and what has come to pass now when you asked us to be positive then and give the government a chance? Be positive, give the government a chance. They're trying their best. They're doing things. They can't get everything right. How's it, Casey? Vanilla Arthur, how are you, Vanilla? No jungle yum. Yeah, I need to get jungle yum, man. No one's buying jungle yum for me. I'm early. Julian is early. Well done. Reina says, first time in a long time I'm on a Monday. Yep. Always the first time. Reina, says that Charles Nelson, Tammy Nelson, thanks for shout out. She's still loving the Boerewors though. Yep, I'm sure she'd love the Boerewors. And tell her to keep enjoying it as long as you give it to her every. But sometimes you're going to have a meat-free Monday, Tammy. You can't have the same Boerewors every day. You have a bit of a break. Twice a week, 3 times. Too much is not good. Too much of anything is not good for you. That's what I'm saying, Tammy. Right, Mika Merino's give us an answer there. While he answers that, with day number 123 of lockdown, 27th of July. Stats provided to me by Anida Padiachi in Durban. And 4,445 infections, 6,000 some odd deaths. Not much news on that front for the day. But before we do all of that, today's show brought to you by Rams Flowers. Rams Flowers, the new online store where you can order flowers online. They're cheaper than the other guys, the Net Flowers guys, definitely. And free delivery in the Joburg area. If you're in the Joburg area, free delivery for you. www.ramsflowers.co.za. Kumaran, we don't talk football on this platform, dude, so keep your football comments out. How are you, neighbor? Says Vijay Lala. Who's he talking about, neighbor? Me. Good evening. Madhur says Vishal Singh. Vishal Singh, good evening. Right. I didn't get the death figure, 6,000, something like that, but topic of conversation for today. Mika Merino didn't come back to us. We're asking for Mika Merino. Let's start off with that. Mika Merino from Canada was, shall we say, passing judgment on us 2 months back that we were being too hard on government and we weren't being positive. Been a while since we saw that post about how tired our president is looking and how he's, yeah. That's the one, Rivel. Oh, the poor press. We don't know how he sleeps at night. He's got the whole world on his shoulders. Give him a break. We don't know what he's going through. Sleeping on his comfy bed, 100,000 rand, drinking champagnes and good drinks, going through a hard time. Good evening from the chilly town of PMB. Mika says, I'll address your comment regarding current situation. I don't think the government is doing a great job. I don't think. Right, Mika? That is what we were telling you, Mika. That is what we were predicting. And it wasn't predicting from nowhere, like just wanting the government to fail. It was predicting from knowing a history of how they fuck everything up. Even today, Julius Malema was commenting on the 500 billion, and he even said the money is gone. And he even picked on the ANC. He said the ANC have taken the money. That's what he said. He said when the IMF gives more money, which is why they're against the IMF giving more money, he said they will take that money as well. Not that he's not a looter himself. Julian, buy your girl flowers, listen to KC. Yep, Julian, get some flowers. The Mexican word Boerewors and Blommer here. Yeah. Kogi Lamba says Canada got different policies compared to South Africa. Yeah, I don't need to talk about Canada, but it's just, well, now that he's clarified that, and we can move on from there. No jungle, I'm drinking power. I get thirsty. Right. First topic of conversation I want to talk about today. Good evening from Port Elizabeth, says Ashwin. By the way, my Cyril Mama 3 video is out. My third conversation with our president, Cyril Mama, that was released today about 5 o'clock. That's gone out on WhatsApp. It's gone out on my earlier comment, positive comments reference was released. President, everyone thought they were going to get attacked. Well, we leave it there. I don't take you on that now. That's also something different there, but we leave it there. What was I on about? Fucking Mika put my train of thought totally out. Shamini9, how are you, darling? And your hubby Tess there. Well, I need to come see how much more alcohol you got in your house there. You got some wine or something like that. What was I going to say? Just slipped my mind completely. Came back, is going back again. Oh, the video, Cyril Mama video is out. If you haven't got that, get it on my pages. If not, join my WhatsApp group. 084-795-1835. 084-795-1835. You send a WhatsApp to that number, and my PA Charmaine will add you on to the group. Check the diabetes first sign thirst. Yeah, probably. Maybe also I talk a lot, that's why. Hello, Casey. Greetings from Schlanger Rocks. Nadine says, hello, Casey. Nadine Milligan. Who counted Nadine Milligan? Are you Irish? Speaking of Irish, I got a call from a lady who used to live in Phoenix. She's now in Ireland for 25 years. She contacted me, saw my video, the Cyril Mama video, and saw my Casey Consulting, the thing about the worlds and the trust and the state, and all the way from Ireland, my first international customer. She signed up a policy for her mum, or signing up a policy for her mum, who still lives in Phoenix. Her mum is in her 60s, and she has, or is signing up her mum with my company and Capital Legacy for a will and probably a legacy plan to check your sugar, Casey. Yeah, maybe I need to check my sugar. You're saying that, yeah. Maybe, never know. But you mean you're not supposed to get thirsty? If you get thirsty, you must check your sugar. Is that what you're saying? Previous trends about our government determined the aptitude in handling this. Yep. That's right, Naresh. That's what we were saying to Mika. The releasing of the prisoners and all, you wanted us to be. Anyway, I don't want to get into that now with Mika. Right, Cyril's video is out, and if you want to get it, join the WhatsApp groups. Kritika just put the number out, 084-795-1835. Shamini says I can come anytime. Mostly I come at night, after 9, 10 o'clock. But that's a story for another day. That's twice a month. That's also a story for another day. Right, those of you, let's name and shame those people who didn't buy a ticket. I thought Tasha is going to come out with that. Tasha Vuka, name and shame the bastards who didn't buy a fucking ticket for my show. Who are you? Name yourselves. Come forward now. Dehydrated. What exercise you were doing? Well, mouth was going and all of that. Hello, Casey. Our second time tuning in. Like a way to relax. Don't get too serious, bro. No, well, sometimes we get serious, sometimes depending what it is. Today I'm talking about COVID funerals, by the way, so it may be a depressing topic, but I just want to get into that so we all understand where we're going and get some knowledge. Something happened to sound. Ashwin, you're the only one having problem with sound. I don't know why. Yes, I'm waiting for the name and shame to address those that are looking to immigrate. Made too old to do so. If you Serena Governor says, hello, that's Serena. Right, let me get into this here about COVID funerals. By the way, we're also going to talk about racism later on. Black Lives Matter, something about that coming up. I'll share that with you just now. Which Shamani is this? Right, COVID funerals. I had a friend of mine who buried her mum. By the way, she died of natural death, not natural death, heart attack, which is a normal death, shall we say, normal in these times, not a COVID-related death. Now, you guys have seen the videos of the hearses, and white people, I'm not sure if this goes for you. Maybe you guys won't do this, but Indian people, for the body, last remains to go to the house is a big thing. Is a big thing for Indian families, for the body to go back to the house and then leave to the crematorium. So white people may not necessarily understand this, the urgency or importance of this. Now, we have seen COVID funerals where the hearses pitch up at the house and gone in a few minutes. Yes, it is a sad topic, Priya, but I want to use it to try and educate us so we know if we're having funerals in our family. It's going to happen, funerals in our family, people we know. Often we're taken advantage of by funeral parlors and these companies. So there's a lady who used a funeral service in Pietermaritzburg. Friend of mine wasn't very impressed with the service. Now, I thought it was a COVID funeral, but in fact it was a normal funeral. Hearse traveling at 160 kilometers per hour. The family following couldn't even follow the hearse. The hearse was gone. And when they got to the crematorium, it was a rush. They were rude. All of that. Have any of you had that experience? Any of you had family funerals? Do you know what's going on? Often the bereaved family is not in control and they are just taken advantage of. So we need to understand that as well. Funeral parlors are making a killing. Yeah, that's everyone saying that. And a lot of funerals, we also understand that. And Ashwin, turn your hearing aid up. Ashwin, turn your hearing aid up. Hearing aid. Up. Yeah, okay. Because he can't hear, right? There's a problem. Pietermaritzburg boy. Everything happens in Pietermaritzburg. So tell me, guys, have you guys had anybody? And if I've shown videos on my platform, by the way, of the hearse running. So what I have heard from a COVID funeral, hearse was flying. Yes. What I have heard from a guy who I phoned from Pietermaritzburg, on my side, sounds good. What I have heard is that if it's a COVID funeral, the hearse is obligated to stop at the house for 10 to 15 minutes to conduct your last rites. Whatever. Now, last rites could be a lot. Minimal is being done in terms of lighting the camphor and doing the aarti or whatever is being done there. That should be done. Well, it's sad, very sad. Personal, some funeral homes gives you at least an opportunity to have a last view, husband or wife with kids. Well, Woldy, in terms of the Disaster Management Act and the funerals protocol, there is no viewing of the body. You can't view the body. With the crematorium, you have to book a slot at the crematorium. With the increasing number of funerals, they are rushing everything. Kritika, that's true, they are rushing everything, but remember, you can work backwards. You're not rushing to make a 1:30 cremation and leaving home at 1 o'clock. The hearse will come to your house before that, around about 12 o'clock, all of that, and leave from there. So Woldy Smith, COVID funeral, there is no viewing. The protocol, I just heard from one funeral parlor now, there's no washing of the body, as you know. The body, the mortal remains, must be wrapped in 3 layers of plastic, placed in the box, which is the same box. I think there's no coffin in all these days, yeah. The box, and then I heard that they're filling sawdust into the coffin and then sealing the coffin. A lot of fly-by-night undertakers have suddenly sprung up. People must be wary. Yep, that's also true. That's why I'm raising this post here, to try and get some knowledge out there. Damn, my handle is coming. Anita says funeral parlors play on the grieving. That's right. Funeral, with the family is grieving, they just sort of accept everything as what it is. So I'm trying to just bring out the topic, so if we have loved ones, family or friends going through it, we can. Yes, we had to for my mom. They gave us 2 hours at crematorium. Oh, 2 hours at a crematorium. Wow, that's a lot. So now they're looking at half an hour, 45 minutes if it's non-COVID, to an hour. Funeral parlor must be patient because they're not burying animals, they're burying people. Kogilamal, that may be true, but they're also governed by time frames, as Kritika alluded to, in terms of crematorium times. For example, if cremation is set for 1:30, you need to be at the crematorium by 1 o'clock, which means if it's a half an hour drive, you leave home by 12:30, which means that the body must come to your house around about 12 o'clock. Now, if those times run late and you only leave your home at 1 o'clock, whatever, then you're rushing to the crematorium, then you can't get the last rites, even the 10 minutes done. So we need to be able to be wary of that as well. Don't just blame the funeral parlor if you've taken long to do your last rites at home. Yes, you can. You put on PPE, body, they just open the face, no touching, face covered with see-through. Where you got this information from, Woldy? Because that's not the information I'm getting from people. Anita had a COVID funeral as well, but there was no viewing. So Anita, tell us, Woldy is giving us, Woldy, do you know this for fact, or you just assuming? You are correct. Family can, well, purchasing a casket would be just, I think it's just a waste of, I don't know, to me a waste of money, to be honest with you. But I think it's a very emotional decision. Hi guys, the policy is paying out for COVID-related deaths. We're not talking about that now, never, and hold on to that. We're just talking about funerals. Can we just keep it to the funerals and the body of viewing of the body and all of that? Let's keep our discussion here, guys. Let's make it productive and get to some point. Woldy is making some points here. It depends on when you take the policy. Okay, I'm not talking about funeral policies. Can we hold on to the funeral policies? Can we leave that discussion out? My brother-in-law's funeral on Vanilla says, non-COVID body comes home and viewing takes place, body slides the state for 1.5 hours. Right, that's non-COVID. We understand that, Vanilla. Non-COVID, you can view. Casey, I sent you the Gazette the other day. You're allowed to view. We'll send it again. I have a video on how we did my late father-in-law, can prove it. Well, then that's a difference. So Kritika sent me something regarding viewing. Is that true? Look, there's a lot of disinformation, wrong information going on. I got the guy from the funeral parlor who said, no, there's no viewing of the body. It's a sealed casket. So Where is this information coming from? And also we need to put out proper information. So Kritika, tell me what was in the Gazette. I sent you the Gazette the other day. You are allowed to view. We'll send it again. Okay. So Kritika, send it again. Let's read that. Can you not send it now, Kritika? I can access it and see there. I have a video on how we did. My late father-in-law can prove it. Send the video or send a snippet. That way, you see now. Now you see Anida is saying no viewing allowed under no certain conditions. Under no certain conditions. Under no conditions. Or under no... I think you are missing the point there, Anida. You got it wrong. Under no conditions. Not no certain conditions. That means you're playing with your own words there. My family told me at clear state that you have time for cremation. If you're late, you go at the back of the queue. That's right. Melissa Ramlial, when it comes to cremation, if you miss your time, let's say you miss 1:30, then you get pushed to the back, 6 o'clock. The body will have to lie there and wait till 6 o'clock. That's also true. I've got that from the guy now at the funeral parlor who told me that. So now we are in a dilemma here now. So let's get this right. Don't discuss funeral policies, nothing else. Let's get this straight here. Anida is saying, no, I already no viewing of the body. Kritika and Woldy are talking about viewing of the body in the plastic with your PPE, whatever. So Woldy says, remember, been through it 2 weeks ago. Depends on the parlor to parlor. Yes, I also think so, but there also should be law about that. I mean, a parlor can't dictate to you what they want to do on their own time. That's wrong. Thought they seal the coffin as it is contagious. Well, that's what I'm hearing. But will you tell us, where did you view the body of your father-in-law? Was it at the morgue before they put it in the casket? Where did you view that? Just give us some indication of that. My brother-in-law was a COVID patient. The health bylaws for Itaquini municipality COVID funerals applies to all stakeholders from the hospitals, funeral parlors, and next of kin. What does it mean? No viewing of COVID cases. My cousin passed away during the weekend. No viewing. Well, Rimel, that's what you're saying. But you see, Woldy is saying he viewed. Kritika is saying it's in the Gazette under no conditions. Okay. Conditions. Woldy is saying he did it. Does anybody else do a viewing? Or was this only in Cape Town? Was it only that maybe it was wrong? Maybe it changed in the last 2 weeks. I don't know, Woldy. Did you see it in the parlor? Where did you view the body? Before they put it in the casket? You maybe were lucky they did you a favor. I seriously doubt that is law. Kritika is saying the Gazette, but I'm wondering whether the Gazette is in favor of viewing or not viewing. And I deliberately want to do this post today for us to get some insight to know what is happening. And we can help people, because there's just a lack of knowledge, shall we say, in terms of this regard. I'll have to phone another funeral parlor as well. Port Elizabeth, no viewing. Customary rites must be performed in 15 minutes. Yep, that's in keeping with what we know according to the World Health Organization protocols, says Anida. In Cape Town, in the morgue, we viewed him there. Yeah, you see, that I think, by the way, I figured as much. You did it in the morgue. And in fact, you shouldn't have been allowed in the morgue, and you shouldn't have went to the morgue, Woldy. If you understand that, you shouldn't have, with the PPE even, I think they just broke protocol. In your case, to take you to the morgue. I mean, who views the body in the morgue? You don't go to view, you go to dress the body or wash the body or whatever. So I'm going to take that as an anomaly. Well, at least that's what we're seeing. And yeah, I think all this case is an anomaly. Maybe different funeral parlor. No, it shouldn't be that way. To identify the deceased, he was wrapped in plastic completely. Access for people is very strict. Well, I'm still saying in a morgue, apart from the person you're seeing wrapped in plastic, is just a very dangerous situation for you to be in, even with your PPE. What happens with Muslim funerals? I don't know. Habib, we'll have to find out about Muslim funerals as well. Probably the same procedure. Woldy, please share so we can believe you. No, Woldy went into the morgue. Would you guys want to go into the morgue to view? Would you do that even if the funeral parlor allowed you? Would you take your family into the morgue to do that? Anita is correct. I think it is against the law to view a COVID body. Vusi Shlabisa. Vusi is a black guy, I think. Vusi with a Y, like Lucy. Vusi, how do black funerals go? Just give us an indication, because black funerals are much bigger even than Indian funerals. What's happening with black funerals? Do you know? Give us some insight there, Vusi. Funerals, COVID, are sealed coffins, generally 15-20 minutes, almost disrespectful the way it's rushed and treated, says Vishal. Family doesn't even get to carry the coffin. Well, we can understand all of that in terms of carrying the coffin and all of that. That's why we'd rather try to save our loved ones as much as we can than being in the situation of that. All COVID follow protocol. There is no viewing period. There is a hefty fine. Undertaker can lose his license. Lose 1 there. No, will not. That is too risky. No touching, no washing. Very impersonal, but we understood. At least we could say goodbye. Hey, Wally, I wouldn't want to be placed in that situation where you're there and you can't do anything. What did you even go there for? I'm not saying you, I mean me. What would I even go there for? I'd say just leave it out, dude. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be there. There was agreement of the parlor and there is a risk on both parties, definitely. Yep, Sunil Ramkosan, I believe that Wally, they may have had an agreement and they allowed it, but I seriously doubt that is an accepted practice. If the body has no life, how can the virus survive? Well, do you want to take a chance with that, Danny Reddy? Would you want to say the virus doesn't survive? I don't know. Would you take a chance? Maybe they're just being overtly cautious, which is not a bad thing. I'm not going to share our family's personal and private video on open platform. Well, Wally Smith, I would have assumed you wouldn't do that. Don't think you should. You've got the video, that's your own thing. But what I've gone to the end of where you are. I want to figure out what it was you did. And obviously you went into the morgue. Devin says, a person would like to view for closure and saying my goodbyes. I'm not, I would, that's your thing. Yeah, I would try not to, depending, it's very, very, very personal, I suppose. I can share a sector or snapshot of mother and he can confirm. Listen, Wally, you don't have to send me anything. All you want to know is where you viewed it. And I think if you got to do it and you were happy with it, good for you. I don't think that other parlors or anyone's going to allow it. And I don't think it's right, actually, to be honest with you, that you're putting yourself and others in danger in an environment of a morgue where there's lots of other bodies and whatever that are there or gone through there. The less you expose yourself, the better. So don't worry about sharing it. We believe you. I believe you that you did it. Muslim rights at the mosque and buried him after no viewing. Absolutely correct, says Tasha. Correct for what? The virus survives on metal and airborne, says Julian Kutzer. So I'm going to take up, there was but now, the funeral, so I think we the correct thing is there is no viewing of the body. There is a sealed casket. The casket is sealed. There is no viewing at the morgue or the funeral parlor, and there's no washing of the body or dressing of the body. Gone. All gone. The corpse will have bodily fluids which can infect others. Correct. Yep. Well, that's in general health, that you should never come in touch with a corpse. It's got its own, whether you died of COVID or not. That is why in Hindus burn the body to get rid of all viruses that can affect other people. That's where cremation comes in. Why in Hindu rites cremation, why they cremate, is to get rid of all viruses, anything that was there in the body, because obviously the body is just a vessel. In terms of Hinduism as well, that you burn the body, get rid of everything, burn everything that's there. Much safer, which the Hindus knew already. Why you see the funeral pyres and all burning. Cremation is the way to go. Risk transfer of COVID, the virus can live for over 200 years if the body is buried, therefore cremation is necessary. Yep, but I think people are even burying, they're burying in America or across the world, even here, they're burying COVID patients. They're not, what if the virus survives, that people dig them up 200 years later and then COVID comes back? Mother, don't worry, you can't get infected from Waldy's video if he shares it with you. No, I'm not worried about him sharing the video of that, man. Okay, but I think you're being smart there, but it's fine. Said, yeah. So, that we know. Then, the funeral parlor is obligated to stop at your home for 10 to 15 minutes, where you can do your last rites at the body doesn't come out of the vehicle. You can do your last rites there. So Kritika says, okay, my bad. It says in hospital or morgue, the body bag may be open for family members to view. Okay, my bad. It says in hospital or morgue, the body bag may be open for family members to view. Okay, so it can be done, which is what Woldy did. I don't think we're promoting that in our township or anyone's promoting that. I wouldn't promote that, by the way. It says in a hospital or morgue, the body bag may be open for family. Oh, open is a big thing as well. Vusi comes in with Black Funeral and says, it's the same way as a few minutes, the body passed your house for last goodbye, no viewing. It's against our culture. Yep. Well, but we live in unprecedented times, don't we, Vusi? Thank you for joining us and giving us your perspective there. Yeah, and of course, black funerals are much bigger than Indian funerals as well. To keep people away is the issue. New normal. Worldly says funeral body is wrapped, coffin is wrapped. The hearse come to your house, coffin stays in the hearse, church stay in the hearse. If you bury the loved one, distance needs to be handled. We went for cremation with the morning. We did the cremation. Yeah. Well, it survives on door handles, metal, plastics, etc. Says Samson Reddy. Jackie, by any chance you lived in Golden Poppy Crescent, Chatswood? Nathan Chetty, why are you? I just blocked Nathan Chetty. Can we stick to, if we're having a conversation, can we stick to if you're going to come on my platform and we're going to talk about something, can we talk about that and not talk about football, then talk about something else? It's just stupid. It's counterproductive. I just blocked him. And he maybe on Nathan Chetty was an annoying person that I know. So that's why I blocked him immediately. We have to bury no exceptions. Muslims. Yeah. Yes. That's something it goes against Muslim tradition. Actually, I didn't think about that. Thanks for bringing that to us, Zahida Dokrat. The Muslim community bury. That's it. That's the only way for funerals is burial. Cremation is not part of the Muslim culture or way of life. Shall I put it for lack of a better word? Thank you for sharing that with us. That's Zahida Dokrat. Right, so no viewing of the body. You can view it in the morgue or in the hospital if they allow you, which I don't think is good. And the funeral parlor is supposed to rock up at your house, give you 10 to 15 minutes. Not like the one video we saw where the hearse just drove past the house. I think that was ridiculous. There. And Vishal, that's what I meant about your comment earlier on. Just didn't fit in there, dude. Gotta be mindful what we say. Especially in these times. But we understand, Vishal. No asshole. So we know 10 to 15 minutes, the last rites at the home. And I think we also need to be wary of the timings to get to the and then crematorium. And I'm talking about COVID funerals. Now, crematorium, you get another 10 minutes there to do your final rites. And I think about 10 people are allowed. Anita can come in here as well and tell us what she knows. The guy from Morgan's funeral said 10 people allowed to the final rites. You're not allowed to go in the back where the body enters the furnace. COVID. For a normal funeral, 3 or 4 people with the priest allowed to go in the back to the final rites before the body enters the furnace. Isn't alive, it's not even a living organism. Good evening, Pubalan Padiachi. So that's what I understand about COVID funerals. So those of you who know, I think we can have family members who go through this. While I'm on that point, let's go to the funeral policies now. If somebody has a funeral policy out that has so many things in place, this is something I didn't think about, but I'm going to ask you now. Let's put it out there. If your mom or dad... Oh, by the way, now, only when people die do we come to know the value of funeral policies, what we're buying, what we're paying for our mums and our dads. Because I would just say pay a policy 30 rand, 40 rand, pay. Doesn't matter, just whatever it is. And then when the time comes for the funeral, then we moan about the coffin, the casket, all of that. But we really took no time to really find out, especially if we can't afford a funeral. Like if you can't afford a funeral for your mom or dad, you're well-to-do or you go fairly well, now that's fine, you pay for the funeral. But if a policy is in place and you want to be able to cover that cost, I think we don't take enough time to understand or to really put effort into that, into what we are buying from these funerals. Because you are buying something, you're buying a service, you're paying towards a service, and then you're shocked at the end of the day when you go to the funeral parlor and they give you caskets to look at and it looks ugly, then by the way, they will upsell you to something worth 6,000, 8,000, and you think to yourself, hey man, my dad, I need to give him the best send-offs ever. So they play on your emotions, and I've been in that situation, by the way, where they play on your emotions to get the most expensive casket. You are not far off. I think it differs from town to town, says Waldy Smith. Cookie says, good evening. Good evening. Yeah, so funeral policies that you can comment on. And what have you been paying towards a policy that gives you a gazebo, that gives you meals, that gives you this, that gives you that gives you flowers? And now in the time of COVID, when all those things fall away, is there a rebate? Because now the COVID funerals, the box is the one that goes into the furnace. And yeah, the last rites camp etc. is placed on the coffin and goes into the furnace. Yeah, coffin there, right at the end. Although they don't burn the coffin, they burn the inside box. I don't think they burn the coffin itself. So worry about that. There's an inner box in the coffin that comes out. That's the one goes into the furnace. Basically a chipboard box. I never knew a funeral was so expensive till recently. Yep. Funerals are, what are you looking at? 10,000, 12,000 at least for a funeral, basic funeral. Is that a cost? 10 to 12,000 rand for a basic funeral. Those are the costs. Policy is very important. Please, everyone get at least one funeral policy. Meals for what? We are not entertaining at a funeral. Well, Sanjay Miraj, you're talking about meals at a funeral. Black funerals, on the other hand, are different. So I'm talking about all cultures are different. So you may not have meals or whatever at a funeral. Other people may have the thing covered. Remember, while you say meals are not covered, Sanjay Miraj, what do you mean meals? You're not entertaining. When guests come home, do you not feed them? Sanjay Miraj, every funeral I've been to, we've arranged sandwiches for the guys who come in from the early, sit there and mourn with you. People leave their work and come lunchtimes. I mean, really? Is that we're not entertaining? Tasha, 50K. Fuck. That's a lot. The government can squander and loot. Why couldn't they subsidize COVID funeral? Well, because they have to pay money. I don't think they're going to pay towards your funeral, darling. That's a real honest truth. They're not going to pay towards your funeral. 50K, Tasha. Wow, that's to me that's excessive. That's really expensive. What happens to the transport and all the other bells and whistles that come with the plans cannot be done now. Yep, that's what I mean about Dremel. Like they have a family car and all of that and the earth. Because now they don't come with the earth, they're coming with the van. Just taking the body in the back of the van and going. The earth is not being used. That sort of thing. The package must be scrutinized properly. That's right. Some food customary at a wedding. Yep. So food is customary. And what Sanjay is saying, like as if we don't feed. I know we're not entertaining like a party, but people come and mourn with you the whole day. The funeral is 10 o'clock. People there from 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Sanjay bread. I don't know if that sums it up, Daryl. I don't know if that sums it up, but I don't think all breados are the same. But I love the comment there. Very on point. Sanjay, you walked into that one, dude. You walked into that one. You gotta deal with it. Not even time to get upset. We had some white people on. I don't know. Where's the white people? Can you tell us, share with us about your funerals, COVID funerals? How does it go? No family or friends allowed after funeral at home. We live stream the funeral for friends and family from far. We fed every day for 1 week plus on the actual funeral day. So catering was a lot. Yep. Well, 1 week of feeding is a lot. I don't know why you'll do that. Maybe you had service the entire day, or maybe that sort of thing. Kavita Moodal is bust. I know what you bust about, Kavita. Naresh Sarup says we feed it all. Yes, we feed it. I don't know. How come Sanjay came up with that thing? Just didn't make sense. Plus, when you go to someone's house, you get hungry. Yeah. Well, when you're there the whole day, I mean, if someone's there from 8 o'clock, then you go to the critical Sanjay, not from PMB. Yeah. All right, so let's see what more we find out about COVID funeral. I'll try and find out a bit more myself and see what the protocols are. They must rebate us because of the full service not available in time. Casey, please don't go Please don't go away to that question. Yeah, so Vusi is right as well. He says they must rebate us because of, well, I think what we need to do is, if we are in a funeral situation, we have to find out the policy and find out at the end of the day what was supposed to be provided and what's not provided, and how is the family compensated. If there's any nice to find out from a funeral parlor. One of the funeral parlor in Phoenix made his match. The funeral parlor play on the family. Yep, they do play on your emotions. And the aunties come with fudged ice cream containers. Yeah, that's customary with Indian functions. Customary. So when the person is alive, no one worries. When they die, family come together and contribute. Yeah, Daryl, but Daryl, even that's life, man. People only assume, now I'll go visit him one day, I'll go there, don't worry, I'll go, and whatever. And you can't say that they only come for the funeral, because at least they come and pay their respects. I don't know. I'm torn on that one. I think today's people's lives are just that way. Some people don't care, but some people just don't have the time, just a rat race. Funeral covers are rip-offs. If you died of COVID-19, they'll probably say you're not covered. They'll say, yeah, nice to find out about that. From the day a person died till the 16th day, we must feed the people. Humor is good even on a heavy topic, says Wally Smith. Eat and take, says Kogi Lamba. Right, so we were on COVID-19 funeral. That's where we are. And just a general comment about funerals in Durban. The inner box generally goes into the furnace. Both my parents were cremated. Both my parents were cremated in Joburg. The entire coffin went into the furnace, not just the inner box. Oh wow! Why would they? That's a loss to the funeral parlor, by the way. Did they burnt the whole coffin? Wow! I've never heard of that, Loshni. Feeding allowed. Most neighbors and families contribute towards the meals. I will do it all over again. My mom was worth every penny and more. Oh yeah, Natasha, I don't think you'll regret the spend that you spend. And that's what funeral parlors actually play on, is that it's your mom, it's your dad, it's your brother. Why wouldn't you spend the best casket? I think they're long in the game to know that. And to them, it's just another body, another funeral. To you, it's your mom, your dad, your sister, your husband. Yes, same, just the inner box. So Loshni is saying that the whole coffin, the casket, I don't know about that, because some caskets are just there, like the very extravagant caskets. They loan it to you, that incorporates the inner box, and that comes out, and then the coffin is taken away itself. That's what I know. So it couldn't have been a very expensive coffin then, if that is the case. Maybe it was paid for in the policy, or whatever, to be burnt or cremated as well. Right, shall we leave it there? It's 1:45. I might just end early today. It's been a long ass day. Yesterday was a long ass day and a long ass night we had. So round up by just talking about shall we? I won't talk about the next topic. Maybe tomorrow's case. The coffins cost in excess of 10,000, which literally goes up in flames. No, man, Loshni, it's not supposed to happen. That doesn't happen. The one for 8 to 10,000 rand, the casket is actually on loan to you almost, and you give it back to the Jesus. That's a lot. I'm calling Jesus' name here as well. The day, that doesn't sound right. Just doesn't sound, yeah. And there's a lot of other wood burning there with the body and all of that. All that wood getting in, I don't know. Have any of you heard of that happening? Let's talk about that quickly. Loshni says that in Johannesburg, the two funerals for a dad 13 years ago and a mom 3 years ago, the entire casket was put into the furnace. Did you guys ever experience that? If you have parents, make sure you bless them every chance you get. No use crying at the coffin when they're gone. True, Daryl. My mom's coffin was put into the fumes or furnace in front of us by Morgan's from PMB. My dad as well burnt the entire coffin. It's a special coffin. It has to be a special coffin, for burning. It's not the normal casket, although I haven't really heard about that, to be honest. Funeral parlor must have closed down coffins for rent, not burning. True, if we did not laugh, all we do is cry. Yes, she's correct. Oh, Niris, is that a Joburg thing? I haven't heard about that, by the way. In Durban or any funeral. But we learn something new every day. Don't these mothers charge us for the whole casket? It's right. We've been in the ante room where we've been seeing it going. What? No, I don't deny that, Loshni. I'm not disputing you. I'm just saying I find it very odd. It must be a very different casket. There's a difference between the coffin box and the casket, and usually the casket is made in fiberglass and can't burn. The coffin box is sprayed up chip box. Yes, but that's what we're talking about. But now they're saying, and people are saying, the entire coffin goes into the casket, goes into the furnace. And Loshni is saying that's what she saw, that's what she did. But I know what you're saying, Badresh, about the two different types of boxes. I wonder how that is. My mom passed on 2016, burnt the coffin as well. Ooh, okay. Yes, it's that way in Joburg. All right. Learning something new. Yeah, how's the case? You also seen that the whole coffin or casket goes in, handles are removed. Yeah, because the handles are plasticky, right? You see that many times. Oh, I've never seen that. Had my mom's funeral. There's the same coffin you're viewing. Okay. I've never seen that, to be honest. I went to 2 funerals in Joburg in the past month. Both instances, coffins were put in the furnace. Not sure about the casket. Well, coffin, casket, we're getting mixed up with terminology here. Coffin, casket is the same thing almost, according to me. Yes, it's a cremation coffin. So it must be a different type of coffin. It must be, if it's cremation, it must be, maybe Durban hasn't caught on to this cremation coffin or whatever. Same from Uncle's funeral as well. It was through Morgan's in PMB. How was your, Shamani Naidu, how was your experience with Morgan's in PMB? Somebody else said Morgan's as well. Can you give me your how do you think Morgan's handled your funeral? It's a Joburg thing, says Loshni. I probably think so. Shamani, just give me some indication of Morgan's. Were they decent? Were they good? Were you happy? I must admit there was a complaint about Morgan's funeral service recently in this COVID time. I actually watched a live funeral, not a COVID funeral. I saw them actually push the whole coffin into the furnace. It says, was that in Joburg or Durban, Niri? Yes, the entire casket went in because we paid for the casket. Okay. And I'm asking about Morgan's funeral parlor. How did they conduct the service, Shamani? And Niri is talking about a live funeral, pushing the whole coffin into the furnace. Like I said, to me it's new. I haven't been to many funerals though, by the way, to see the cremations. I haven't been to many cremations, so I can't say for a fact that all of them coffins didn't go into the furnace. But definitely the coffin, the coffin that goes into the furnace, definitely not the normal ones that you see. It's definitely different. Even maybe the makeup of it, the lacquer, or what's sprayed onto it, whatever, because it mustn't affect the burning or not burn sort of thing. So definitely built for a casket for going in the furnace. Let's put it that way. Right, so Shamini is going to give me an idea of Morgan's funeral, and coffins are cheaper option packaged than the caskets, and you're correct in saying that in most instances the caskets are loaned, so they are not burned. Yeah, the caskets are the ones with the gold handles and all of that, and they look very very nice. Those ones you don't burn. Naidu's funeral in Tops, I get too emotional at the funeral. We were very satisfied with the funeral home that handled my father-in-law cremation. Very professional, very helpful. I know that personally we dealt with him directly. Passed away, so his sons ran. Who is his son? Pri. Is his son Pri? I got a complaint about them, by the way. When it's sent to the back to the furnace, it goes with the whole coffin, but at the back, the simple chipboard is burnt. It seems like the expensive coffin is burnt. People there, it seems like no. I think Romel, I think you're wrong. I think people know they've seen the coffin go into the furnace. I know what you're saying, but I think they also know what they're saying. The coffin goes into the furnace. Right, so there we go. We'll round up very quickly. Yeah, I dealt with that. I had a race issue to deal with here, but time has run out. battling with my neck issue. I put some Ciadex, I think, yeah. Right, so my online show, Kama Sutra, people got to watch it. Many people, I got good support, and I thank all you guys for supporting me for that online show. I had a beautiful experience that all went well, and thank you so much for your support. All of you bought tickets. For those of you who didn't buy tickets, that's fine. Maybe for my next show, Don't Dala with Masala, you can buy tickets for that. By the way, that show is now going to be online from tomorrow. Don't Dala with the Masala. That is a family show. Amr in Zimbabwe didn't even buy a fucking ticket as well. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with him. Zim's got money. He's got money. Didn't buy a ticket. Ashwin, I don't know if he bought a ticket or what. Kogi Lambal definitely bought a ticket. So Don't Dala with the Masala is coming up. Did Mika Marino buy a ticket? No, Mika didn't buy a ticket. He said he bought for somebody else. Some other fucking bullshit story he gave. Yet he's earning in Canadian dollars. So Don't Dala with the Masala family show, that's coming up on the 28th, Friday, launch on the 28th of Augustus. Every time I was at a cremation, we always collect a funeral box. Yep. Both my parents passed away. Anita, good night all. So there we go. That's coming up on the 28th of August. Don't Dala with the Masala. Tickets will be online at Cricket. Tasha says name and shame. Shame, man. Right, we have 10 minutes before time, but a bit tired today, and I don't want to start the conversation on the other one about the race issue. We need a lot more time. So let's end it there. Thank you for joining us. Hope you got some information. If you can find out some more information about funerals and COVID-related issues, let us know. In the meantime, be safe, guys. Don't go visit your family. Try not to have a death in your family. If you love your parents and love your family, stay away from them. If you love them, stay away from them. Yeah, don't go visit them. Where can I send proof? Take exception because of Mika Miruna, get over it. You should have bought two. Tomorrow will be a live name and shame. Have a good evening, Casey and all. Roger Naidu. Mika Miruna, if you're feeling bad, I'll send my bank details. Just do an EFT, man. Get over it. Like, makes you feel better. Good night, Tasha, Vuka, Mudli. We'll catch you tomorrow. Melissa Ramdial says good night. And if you have been watching, say good night. It's the right thing to do. We've got a couple of minutes to go to do all your good nights and goodbyes. Just make a fat donation. Don't dollar with the masala. We'll fight to the complaints line. Says Sumesh Mudli. Yeah, Mika Miruna must get to the complaints line. By the way, let me just show you a nice cute picture. Can you see this? This is Master Tyler. He's about 3 years old. We were cleaning up yesterday, and there you go. Cute like his dad. Hey, look at that. Can you see the resemblance? Yes. It's gonna be 15. And there's the other one with his sparkler here. How cute is that? And yeah, there's the other one here. See? So yeah, that's Master Tyler. Turns 15 years old. 15 going on 21. Sunday. So Sunday, maybe no sundowner. Depends how the day goes with him, whatever we do with him. Saturday might take him out for a drive. We never see his mum. There's mum here. Can you see? You see the face, that's it. One love. Good night, everybody. Anita Kadir says good night. Oh, everyone's saying good night now, just doing the right thing. Right, from me, remember to always keep it. Mother, name is Caro KC, and I'm out.